Hey bitches. So I said in the brain video that I would do this video when I was talking about vibrations. So why is it important for you to be vibrating at a high frequency? Well, you're going to attract what you're putting out. So if you're vibrating at the frequency, let's say, of love, you're attracting more love. You're attracting more things that bring you love. When you are feeling the things at the bottom, grief, apathy, guilt, shame, despair, anger, even pride, even just courage, those things, we want to try to rise above those. So if you're feeling those things, and I'm not saying it's not okay to be proud, just, don't let that consume you, because you should be proud of yourself sometimes. You're awesome. Be proud of yourself, but don't have so much that you turn into an egomaniac and you're not going to attract what you want. So anyway, you can raise your vibrations. Say you are in anger. So say you're in anger. You're angry about something. Somebody maybe hit your car and you're pissed. You should not be feeling that stress from that for more than just a few minutes. Yes, you're going to have to deal with taking it to the shop and paying for it and all that crap. But the point is that you raise your vibration immediately, because then it's going to start attracting good things instead of more bad things during the process of repairs. Maybe you get a discount or you attract some extra money that comes in and pays for your car. I actually had that happen to me the last time my car was in an accident. I got a little bonus at work that was like $400 more than what my car was going to cost. So it ended up being fine, and I was worried about it for nothing. And I have learned, which I've always been a worrier, that is bad. Don't do that. You cannot see into the future, so don't worry about anything. It's a waste of time and a pain in the ass. So, and when you're worrying, you're sort of in that fear. You're at 100, which is low, okay? So you don't want to worry, because that's a type of fear. If you trust in the universe, just trust. I have to remind myself of that when, those natural tendencies of me being a worrier, because I'm a Gemini and I'm always overthinking, overanalyzing everything. And I have to say to myself, stop. What are you doing? Shut up and trust. And then I'll do the following things. So when you want to raise your vibes, listen to music. It can be your favorite music that makes you happy, music that makes you feel at peace, because you want to achieve neutrality, and I talk about that a lot in my book. Neutrality and above are the best states of manifestation. It is really hard to manifest something when you're below those. So just be careful. Another thing that you can do with music is do binaural beats, find music in the correct frequency. You can just go to YouTube and type in raise your vibrations, or attract money, or attract love, or anything. Just type it in and all these videos come up. And these, they're so good to listen to, like even in the shower, just to relax, driving home from work. They're positive things to listen to. They always put me at peace no matter what I'm going through. And I love to do that. So pick a couple of channels, set them as favorites. And I'm not tech savvy enough to make those yet, but there are so many out there. And I may even link a couple that I use a lot. And anyway, so other things you can do, be around other people that are positive and happy. Hug them. If they're your significant other or your family, give them a little smooch. Express love. express your gratitude, to that person and why you're thankful that you have that person. And while I'm on the topic of gratitude, that's another way to raise your vibrations. Focus on what you do have in the present, not what you don't have or what you wish you had or what you lost. What do you have right now that you are thankful for? And make a list of at least 10 things. Challenge yourself. See if you can take it to 20, 30, 40, and then circle a few of those things that you're really, really, really grateful for. And maybe even write it on a sticky note, and keep it with you. Or put it as your screensaver on your phone so you'll see it on your lock screen. And that way all you got to do is glance at your phone and immediately your vibes are raised. And that's important because if you're trying to attract these things, you cannot do it below the levels of neutrality. But you don't want to just stay neutral all the time. You want to elevate that ultimately to enlightenment. But at least you want to get to peace. You want to be at peace. And one of the best ways to do that is meditation. For some people it's difficult, but you have to practice at it. You have to do it every day. Increase the amount, of time that you spend doing it every day. You really don't ever need to go past 30 minutes. I do sometimes, but not all the time. Not all the time. 30 minutes is a good time, but really hard to do 30 minutes your very first few times. So just try and just close your eyes. You can, if you're a beginner, just type into YouTube guided meditations and go through them, and it'll show you how to do it. And you can also sometimes just take deep breaths. Take deep breaths and just relax and just be mindful. Mindfulness is important. Mindfulness is being in the present. What is happening in the present moment? And if it's something bad, then say to yourself, well, yeah, that's happening, but this is also here. This is here, and that's where the gratitude and the love come back in. Focus on those things. And what you can also do, my favorite things to do, spend time in nature. Going outside, taking a walk in nature, just sitting on your porch. Going to the beach is great. I leave tomorrow. Yes. And anything that has to do with nature is great, whether it's the daytime or the nighttime. The daytime, you do get the benefit of the sunlight, which is good for you, but do it safely because we do know that it leads to wrinkles and old age looking skin way before you're supposed to, and worst of all, the big C. So, I always say maybe 10-15 minutes in the sun and then do your sunscreen, but you got to absorb some of those pure rays, and then it's time to go ahead and, get yourself safe. And you can also walk during a gentle rain. You don't want to be out during a lightning storm, but if you're like me, you don't mind thunderstorms, and you may even walk out during a thunderstorm if you want. Just be careful, when you're doing that. And one thing that helps me when I get upset, especially if it's at nighttime, is I just look up at the moon. I will look up at the moon and stare at the moon, and it's like it instantly clears the fog in my head. It's like, bye-bye, hello, happiness. So that's another tip. It works for me. I hope it'll work for you. Also, sometimes during the day, just looking up at the sky and looking at the clouds, and see what do you see, Just try to be in the present moment. And think of things that bring you peace and joy and love. Because once you can do that, and you can focus on those things and the things you're grateful for, you won't have to raise your vibes very often because you'll be able to live in that present state. And that's so important. And it's something I teach all of my students to do because it's so important to be able to get to that point of neutrality and then, start elevating from there. But most people aren't there yet. Most people are not neutral. And you don't stay at neutral forever. Things are going to come up no matter how much money you have, how in love you are, how perfect your life is. You're still going to have things pop up. They could be something small, they could be something big. It doesn't matter. What matters is how you react to them, how you process them with your brain, and then how you deal with them in the mundane world and the magical world. So just be careful when you're, living day to day, that you don't stay stuck in these low vibrations. Because I'll tell you guys, when I was going through the worst part of my grief, I attracted so much negative that I'm still trying to get rid of those things that I attracted during in the mundane world, which I am. But I didn't have to go through all that if I would have just been able to get myself out of that grief, but I could not, because it was my mother and it had to run its course. And I feel like now, yes, I still miss her, but I'm focusing on the love and the joy that I have with her instead of the fact that she's gone. So if you're dealing with grief, it's gonna run its course. Let it. Don't try to bottle it up and just pretend I'm okay. No, you're not. You need to cry. You need to scream. You need to get it out. My advice is, try to meditate as much as you can. Focus on self-care. Focus on gratitude. Focus on the present. Focus on happy memories while you're grieving. And it'll help speed it up. If you need to contact me for grief help, I am a life coach, and I'm highly experienced with dealing with grief. I lost one parent to suicide when I was in college as a junior, and my mother in December 2021 last year. So if I can get over that, I can help you get over yours, because grief sucks. Grief is the worst. So anyway, other things that you can do, yoga is good. Eating something that you like is good. That doesn't mean turn into a food addict, but every now and then you want a big ass bowl of ice cream, eat it. Who cares? You want a big piece of cake, eat it. You want, a big bowl of carbs, eat them. Who cares? Just maintain your health, and you can treat yourself to those things, especially if they're going to make you happy. So, other ways to raise your vibes, just focus on what you want your next vibe to be. Right now I'm feeling fear. I'm afraid of something. I'm worried about something, but I want to be at peace. So I would think of something that makes me peaceful, like being on the beach with my family, and experience that instead of whatever I'm worried about. So just shift your thoughts. It's all about shifting your thoughts. If you can do that, you don't even have to really, do the music and the meditation and all that other stuff. You can do it all within your mind while sitting still. The other stuff does help, though, especially if you're going through a loss of any type or you have a mental health issue. And these things will help they'll help your mental health tremendously, even your physical health. So I think that's all I'm going to put in here. There's tons of other ways to raise your vibes. These are just the main ones that work for me. And I will come back with another video tomorrow when I get to the beach and give you guys a message from the beach. I will ask my higher self to give me some advice to share and share it with you guys tomorrow. Blessed be.